Did Caitlin Clark just destroy the WNBPA's proposal in the CBA? That is the question. Caitlin Clark has not spoken in a long time. And now she's finally gotten on the mic as the USA women's basketball tryouts took place last weekend. And people were posting all kinds of stuff about, oh my God, she's moving fast. Oh my God, they're cooking. Oh my God, they're doing this. And I don't give a goddamn about that stupid nonsense. I care about the drama. I'm here for the drama at this point because the league itself, who gives a shit? But Caitlin Clark got on the mic, and what she said to me, oh boy, it did not help the WNBPA. It did not help them women, bro. It didn't help them at all. I don't know what y'all think, but you've heard the videos by now. You've heard what she had to say. It's what she said and how she said it. And I'm telling you right now, those women already hated her, and they hate her even more now, more than likely, because what she said did not help them. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way, women's basketball, man. We haven't done one of these in a minute because women's basketball right now has been asleep. It's college women's basketball. Honestly, it hasn't intrigued me enough to want to watch it. It's UConn and everybody else. I mean, UConn just beat USC by 28 points and slaughtered their ass, and they're doing what I expected them to do. But yeah, man, they had that workout, and here Caitlin Clark says what she had to say. But before we jump in again, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate y'all jumping on board, man. I feel like some of my women's basketball fans have felt abandoned by me in the women's basketball space, for primarily the Caitlin Clark space, because that's what I covered it for. I didn't cover it for women's ball. I tried to cover women's ball, and women's ball didn't really want me. It was the Caitlin Clark thing, and I understand that. I always understood it, which is why it was so hard for me to talk about this stuff at last year, and I didn't talk about the WNBA. And I mean, really, I've barely spoken about the league. They're sitting here now in their second extension of the no lockout situation, which makes this whole thing an absolute comical joke. It's a farce. And the deadline now is January 9th. Happens to be the founding day of my fraternity, January 9th, 1914, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Woo, woo, Blue Phi, let's go. But just lock them out. Just lock them out, because Caitlin Clark said, I think the most important thing for myself, thinking about these negotiations, let me share the screen. Let me make it easier. Let's share the screen. Let's bring this up. All righty. I think the most important thing for myself, thinking about these negotiations, like this is the biggest moment that the WNBA has ever seen. Yeah, we know it. Sorry, I'm taking my wires in case I have to listen to something. And it's not something that can be messed up. And we're the players, going to fight for everything that we deserve. But that big but, see, had she stopped that we deserve, period, ended the comment, she'd be okay. She'd be okay. But she added her real opinion in this motherfucker. She added her these next 10 words, or whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 words. Those words told a different story. But at the same time, like, we need to play basketball, Clark said. I don't know how y'all take that shit, but that is not a helpful comment for the CBA. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but this is like, it is those words right there at the end. Let's continue. That's what our fans crave. And that's what all of you crave as well. You want the product on the floor. No, we want you on the floor. And at the end of the day, that's how you make the money. That's how your market is. That's what the fans get excited about. That's what the fans want to show up for. They want to show up for you. It's a business and it's a negotiation, and there has to be a compromise on both sides. Oh my God. Caitlin, Caitlin, what are you doing? Do you want these women to like you? Oh, they're hating you so much now. Caitlin Clark fans, you know what I'm talking about right here. Y'all have criticized her for kind of going with the trying to, be friendly with the masses and shit like that. Those comments right there, let me see. Let's play this.
Very high level, and I think the most important thing for myself, thinking about these CBA negotiations, this is the biggest moment the WNBA has ever seen, and it's not something that can be messed up. And we're going to fight for everything that we deserve, but at the same time, we need to play basketball. That's what our fans crave, and that's what all of you crave as well. Is you want the product on the floor. And at the end of the day, that's how you make the money. That's how you're marketable. That's what the fans get excited about. That's what the fans want to show up for. So, it's business and it's a negotiation, and there has to be compromise on both sides. And, we're starting to get down to the wire of it, and it's become really important. And obviously, I want to help in any way I can, and I try to educate myself the best I can. Obviously, I can't speak to every single member; it's pretty complicated. But I think there are different things that we can find ways to say, no, we certainly deserve that, and we're not going to compromise on that. And then other things that we can probably compromise on. But like I said, this is the biggest moment in the history of the WNBA, and I don't want that to be forgotten. It's important that we find a way to play this next season, and I think our fans, even everybody that has played in this league that has come before us, deserve that as well.
I'm curious, just on the.
All right. I'm gonna read for y'all the last part because it says she also said we're starting to get down to the wire of it, and it's become really important. Obviously, I want to help in any way I can. I don't know. You ain't said a word in months, and I tried to educate myself the best I can. Obviously, I can't speak to every single member. It's pretty complicated, but I think there are different things that we can find ways to say, we certainly deserve that and we can compromise on that. And then other things that we probably can't compromise on. But like I said, this is the biggest moment in the history of the WNBA. And I don't want that to be lost. It's important that we find a way to play this next season. And I think our fans, even everybody that has played in the league that has come before us, deserve that as well. Now, I'm sorry, I'm a little congested, people, but let's. Jeez, boy, oh my God, what she said there is. Some of y'all might not think it's a big deal, but this sounds like somebody who's getting paid. Okay. She is paid. The WNBPA, the CBA doesn't mean freaking dick to Caitlin Clark's bottom line. I mean, there's reports that she made upwards of $10 million last year. I've seen numbers that were higher than that. I don't know what it is with all her endorsements. But she also knows that if they're not on the court, well, even her star power starts to that star, that shine starts to dim. Because the longer you get away from watching these women play basketball, the longer you get away from watching Caitlin Clark play basketball, the more likely it is that the fans that were watching Caitlin Clark when she first got out of Iowa, because now you got to understand this. We haven't seen Caitlin Clark play since what, June? Or was it July? I don't remember when it was her last game, June or July. We didn't see her play the last, 15, 20 games of the season? We haven't seen her play in a while. We had to suffer through watching Indiana play with everybody else but her. And then be lied to about it for months. But she's been, I said it last year that she's getting kind of forgotten. And I mean, she still has her star power and the whole nine. And she's still the reason that we're all here. And she's still the reason that the WNBA even has a leg to stand on right now. But her comment there is one of, yeah, man, y'all need to agree to some shit, man. Because when you read a comment like this, we need to play basketball. There has to be a compromise. Well, it seems like the WNBA is compromising, but the WNBPA is not. That's the problem. You have a players association that is stuck in the world of delusion that continues to fight for shit it hasn't earned, doesn't deserve, should not get. And yet, realistically, we're sitting here right now, mid-December, and you damn well know that they're not freaking having some type of negotiations going on during December. These women ain't doing that. I mean, what the news right now is that a parody account said that Asia Wilson was pregnant with twins. So much to remember that people are posting content about it. So the league proposed a 15% or just under 15% revenue share. And the players have requested 30%. We're not even in the same flipping city when you're talking about 15 and 30. I'm already bumping you from whatever you had before. I'm already bumping your salaries up to over $1 million for the max players. More games. Let's see here. Let's read this. Let's read this specifically because let me find this. So some of this stuff. One of the things right here was it says based on the Athletics sourcing, the first year the new CBA would provision 29% of the gross revenue from the previous season to the players, a total that includes a one-time adjustment that accounts for the new media rights deal, an 11-year, $2.2 billion deal that begins next season. After that, the players' share of the total league, let me zoom this in so I can see it better. The total league and team revenues would increase by 1% each year, rising to 34% of the previous season's gross revenue in the final year of the agreement. The Athletic further reports that this latest proposal was a revised version of a prior proposal in which the players would have received 33% total revenue of each year of the agreement. So maybe the WNBPA's most recent gradual 1% year-over-year ramp-up proposal can be considered a compromise, ? Or at least an attempt to reach a middle ground. Where else? Let's see. I can't pull the New York Times story because I have to log in for that crap. Then it says right here. Kelsey Plum says that the lack of progress has been a little bit disheartening, while again underscoring the frustration players feel because of how far away we are. They're not even in the same city, maybe not even the same state when we talk about negotiations. Like they're not. This isn't a matter of compromise. This is you have one entity over here and one of them over here, and the one over here, the owners have offered and offered and offered and offered. So they took off housing. That was one of the things that came off. They don't want to give housing. I don't fucking blame them. If I'm paying you $300,000 to play for 4 months, why am I paying for your apartment? Like, what in the world? Why would I have a housing allocation for someone who's making over $250,000 a year? So you know what? Guess what? If you get cut, you're still making your $250,000 a year. You can afford it. You can afford your apartment. Like, what are we doing here? Do the New York Yankees pay for Aaron Judge's condo or his house? Do the Miami Dolphins pay for Tua Tagovailoa's multi-million-dollar crib? Do the Lakers pay for LeBron's $50 million house? Like, what are we talking about here? An allocation? The fact that they were getting that, to me, was a major benefit to begin with. I think the players that mostly needed it were players that were not under contract or they were in that 10-day or 7-day window, those short-term deals. They're picked up late. I can actually agree with, though, you take care, give them a hotel to stay in. It's not like the teams don't have agreements with hotels. that sponsor, like, give the girl a hotel room, or, the woman a hotel room for a month or whatever. So like Ari McDonald, for example, or who was the other one? Ariel Powers or whoever came on, give them a hotel room for a month and a half, 2 months while they're here. I got no problem. I have no problem with that. But you're a under contracted, full contracted player. And again, I'm almost okay with the fact that like they're making 70 grand, 80 grand. Getting a short-term apartment costs a lot more money than getting a 1-year lease. And you're not going to be living there for more than the time of the season because most of them don't live in the city that they're playing in realistically. So I can actually be cool. I'm actually cool with the fact they were doing that. But that's when your average salary is 80 grand. Not when your lowest paid player is going to make $250,000 a year. Like, this is what we're talking about now. You're telling me that a person making 500 grand, I need to pay her rent? If I'm an owner, I'm looking at you like you're crazy. You're out of your mind. So now apparently they're looking at extending the season from 48 games to 50 games. Well, when are we going to start and end this season? I mean, are we finally going to say, you know what, the WNBA, how about you sit on your own 2 fucking feet and you schedule your season when the fuck you want to schedule it? But obviously, if you schedule it during college basketball, and the fact moving it up, I don't think moving it up made a big difference because the reality is there's only a couple of people that might be impacted by you moving the start of training camp up. Because most of the players in college basketball are done before the end of March. There's only like 4 teams that are left going into April, which is Final Four weekend. So you're only dealing with 4 teams. Yeah, you're probably going to have a draft pick from UConn or South Carolina or what have you. But get over it, man. This is life. This is professional sports. Deal with it. You tired? I don't give a shit. You want to be a pro? This is your opportunity. That stuff doesn't move me at all. That doesn't move me at all. Like that sensitive bullcrap, I don't care about. Or guess what? Push your season back. Start competing with the NFL. Start competing with Major League Baseball when it's playoff time. You want to do that? Do that. Do it. It ain't bothering me. Y'all the same ones that don't want to have back-to-back games or like all sense about back-to-backs and shit like that. It's ridiculous. Then it says they're talking about carrying 12-player rosters for the season. I think that's what they should. I think it should be 15, to be honest. And then they're all about probably having like a developmental players or whatever. So now it says the Athletic reports that the union is proposing up to 2 developmental player roster spots per team. These developmental players could participate in up to 10 games, receive them prorated minimum salary. See, players like that, give them a hotel room. Give them a hotel room. They're not making $250,000 a year. Or I'm sorry, $250,000 for 4 months. See, it's not $250,000 for a year. $250,000 for 4 months. Otherwise, developmental players will be paid a stipend after being on the active roster for 10 games. These players would need to sign a rest of season contract to be eligible to play in additional games. The union also seeks to secure full benefits for developmental players. Okay, I mean, fine. Along with fairly compensated opportunities for developmental players, the Players Union is seeking to create a means for players on rookie scale contracts to earn increased compensation. Nah, you don't get that. Nah. See, that's another thing. You're under contract, bro. We're not changing the people that are under contract. Yo, shit sucks. I know you're on a rookie deal. It sucks. Be here in 3 years. You don't, nah. If I'm the owners, I'm literally laughing at that shit. They're under contract. They know what they signed. We're not adjusting their contract because, like, even Caitlin Clark, I'm not adjusting Caitlin Clark's contract because she's Caitlin Clark. She's making $10 million off the floor. Why would I adjust her contract? I'm getting a steal right now. I'm going to take advantage of the steal that I'm getting. And that goes for any freaking player. Paige, Caitlin, Reese, Cardoso, Rakea Jackson, you name them. I don't care. I don't care. They get a boost. No. So, another thing here. Now it's the WNBA and WNBPA have exchanged ideas about parental leave for non-birthing parents, mental health care, and retirement benefits. The players, unsurprisingly, are seeking more generous options than those offered by the league. For example, while the league seeks 1 week of paid leave as sufficient for non-birthing, 4 weeks during a season? Your season's 4 months long, you morons. You want to have 4 weeks off during the season to be mom. I'm sorry, to be mom. Because this is obviously dealing with lesbians. This isn't dealing with straight women because the straight woman will be the one that would have had the baby. So we're talking about girl on girl shit right here. We're talking about your partner girl got pregnant and now you're gonna stay at home with your partner girl who got a baby and you got a baby now and all that shit. Like, what are we talking about? No, you get your ass back to work. You're a basketball player. A week is more than enough. It sucks, but this is your job. You don't get you don't have a regular job, bro. Most men do not take what paternity leave for 3 months. Most men don't do that. I had a baby. I was back at work in a week. Well, I didn't have a baby. My wife did. I'm back at work. I was working while she had the baby. I'm a salesperson. I don't get paid if I'm not working. 4 weeks. The players also believe that they should be allowed up to $500 per month reimbursement for out-of-network mental health services. Oh my God. Get a goddamn therapist in network, you dummies. You have insurance that they give you. Use a damn therapist in the network. The league has resisted reimbursing mental health care from the I agree with the league there. Screw that shit. For retired players who played at least four seasons. Wow, they're making it a really low barometer there. Oh my God. The WNBA is asking the league to reimburse up to $1,500 for annual physical exams. So these are for players that former players that don't have insurance. The league is countered by proposing several health screening programs for retired players that would be held in concert with key league. Like, these women aren't football players. This isn't football. I mean, I don't know what the NBA does, but this ain't football. You're not being hit in the head. Basketball players can go get a goddamn job after they retire. A lot of football players can't because they're punch drunk. Their heads are mush eggs. But basketball players, baseball players, go get a job. Players are further requesting adequate mandatory staffing for all teams beyond basketball personnel. That includes the required employment of 2 full-time security officers, in addition to a designated number of physical therapists, whatever. They need security. No one knows who they are. The WNBPA has thus far resisted the league's desire to immediately require players to wear performance tracking technology during games. Players are seeking a more gradual implementation, with players having the choice to wear such devices in 26 and 27 before they are mandated in 2028. Okay, I don't know what the hell that is. That might be, how your blood pressure is. I don't know how your heart rates are. I don't know. Oh my God. I'm just reading the rest of this crap. I don't care what these other women say. Anyhow, that's pretty much it. Now, you want to add games? Well, again, you got to figure out your season. But this all goes back to Caitlin Clark, man. This is a Caitlin Clark deal. They're gonna pay these women upwards of $300,000 a year, something like that, minimum salary in that range. I'm not looking at the numbers, so I'm not looking. Let me look again. WNBA proposal. Let me see if I find it. The owners. So the owner's proposal was a guaranteed $1 million base for max, projected revenue sharing pushing total earnings for max players to more than 1.2 million, minimum player salary $225K or more, the average salary of $500K plus, salary cap growing to $5 million. I mean, and you're sitting here acting like they're not compromising? These players are out of their fucking minds. This is more money than the first proposal was. Like, all I'm seeing is the WNBA owners, and I don't like ownership on teams. I don't. I'm not a fan of them. But in this particular sport, these women are off their rockers. They're out of their minds. They're gonna The minimum salary player is going to get a 400% increase in salary. The max player is going to get a 400% increase in salary. And you're sitting here bitching about housing and mental health care and non-birthing parent leave because you're a woman with another woman. This is lunacy, man. But Caitlin Clark fucked them up, man. Uh, her comments kind of fucked them up because those comments do not help them. I don't know what y'all think. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. But Caitlin Clark may have crushed them, and she may not even realize it. But she knows the deal, man. She makes all her bread in endorsement deals. She's paid, and she knows that the longer she's off of television, the more likely shit's gonna fade. By the way, I bought a bunch of these books. I bought these books. I bought 4 of them. Okay. I opened one just so you see it. It's got the card slots here. For any of you Caitlin Clark fans, it's got pictures. It's all pretty and shit. I got 3 more I have not opened yet. I don't know if I'm gonna open them. I don't know if I'm gonna open them or not because the cards actually kind of suck. I'm disappointed in the card quality. The amount of the book was $60 for Christ's sakes. It's basically a picture book, but I might be doing something with those books come the season because I don't think I'm gonna open them. If I might sell them before that. Who the hell knows? Target might not print them. I don't know how long they'll be on the shelves, but I might do something in the season if it ever starts. That said, I think Caitlin Clark's words were devastating to the players' union. Devastating because she's talking about compromise, and the players ain't compromising. The owners are compromising. The owners are keep upping and upping and upping and upping. Like I'm not gonna keep upping my money and like I'm not double they want double what the owners have offered. Like we're not even in the same state now at this point. It's crazy. It's crazy. We need to play basketball. Mm. Let me know y'all thoughts of her comments. I'm curious what y'all think. I'm happy to see that she's on the court shooting the ball, running up and down the floor. It's wonderful. I'm happy for her. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. We talk facts over feelings all day long. Powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.